Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the SBI podcast. Today we have Artur, Moravian, and Justin Foti, who form a dynamic partnership at the forefront of innovation in the blockchain and Web3 technologies. Artur, a serial entrepreneur, has been a pioneer in the crypto space since 2012, founded Stock Unlocked in a community-driven education platform. Justin Foti, with a background in Las Vegas nightlife, transitioned into crypto in 2016 and became involved with NFTs and Web3 in 2020. Together, they have expanded Stock Unlock's reach and recently launched Metaverse Unlocked, a comprehensive Web3 company focused on NFT projects, DAOs, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Artur and Justin. Hey!
What's going on?
What's happening, guys?
What's up, boys?
So now
What an intro.
Hey, listen, man, you got to do it right. You got to let people know what we're talking
right.
about. So now that I said all these words, please explain what they mean to me. I understand Web3. I don't understand it, but I know it exists. I've obviously the blockchain. Me and Lemicah constantly talk about Bitcoin and all those kinds of things. So like exposed in that sense. But even being getting in and seeing what Stock Unlocked was like, it's like, wow, this is a whole new game. Because a lot of people talk about altcoins, all these kinds of things. There's so many ways to make this money, but a lot of people don't really know how it works. Like, y'all really understand how it works. For a lot of people, it's just like slot machines. Oh, the shit's low. Yeah. Let me just buy a whole lot and let's see. Shit's only 0.002 cents. But like, there's a method to y'all madness. So I just think this can be super enlightening to people who are even scared to get into altcoins or shitcoins or watching Dave Portnoy and like, what the fuck is going on over here? Like, so thank you for coming on the show, fellas.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Hell yeah. Y'all in sync. I like
it. Buying the dip only works until it doesn't, and then it's like, what do I do now? And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So it's this happens every cycle, and it really started during the cycle of COVID. It's like COVID hit, and everybody wanted to be a trader, which is great for our business. But then everybody wanted to be a trader.
Right.
And you could have put $1 in anything from end of 2020 to almost all of 2021. Fact. And if you didn't make some money, it's like, what did you do wrong? It made zero sense to not make profit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's when everybody started, like the courses that you see, or like this that you see, or this, or like they're the best meme coin like traders in the world, but all they're doing, everything is just going up. And then you started to see when the end of 2021 came, and then doom and gloom in 2022, a lot of those groups just kind of vanished. And then you saw it again this run, and then now you're starting to see people not post anymore all of a sudden. It's like, what happened to your account?
Right.
Every cycle, it's just time, just so much time that we've put into this. And I think that's kind of what you've seen so far.
So what sparked your interest in it? Because I mean, it's like how you were saying, like people selling these courses, and then you're like, you don't see their pages anymore. It's like I thought of Forex. Remember how everybody had a homie who was selling Forex, and it was like, is this a real thing? How does this work? So what got you started? What was the piece that made you go, no, I want to understand this, and I think that there's more to this, and how you understood it could be lucrative,
Because 2012 first Bitcoin is crazy. Like that's actually impressive.
Yeah. So I heard about it in 2012, but the whole reason we even bought it was because we would order stuff to go to raves with.
Right, and that was why everyone used it. That was the whole point of it.
Or we would sports bet online with the Bitcoin, and never for a second did I think, let me hold on to this thing.
Right.
Until like 2016. I'm like, let me dabble back into it. And I started to dabble back into it because of Foti. He kept buying Monero at the time. And I'm like, all right, he's in it. I guess I'll buy maybe some ETH and then ADA was the first crypto that I ever bought. And then there's a whole other backstory, but I could keep going on. But that's how I first got into it. It just looked like you guys wanted to tag on to that.
Oh yeah,
no, so in like 2016, 2017, we were working on this movie called Superfly, and we were editing, and these guys came to the house and were like, "Hey man, let's go to Coachella. We'll fly you in a helicopter to Coachella." And I'm like, "How you guys have all this money? Like, who are you?" And then they were just like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I was buying drugs on the internet, and one day my account just went crazy." He was like, "I have no clue how this shit happened, and it just happened." And then I was like, they were like, "Bitcoin." And then from there, I started looking into Bitcoin and like trying to understand and figure it out. But like, yeah, a lot of people came up just trying to buy drugs.
So very quickly, how much did you spend on that first Bitcoin in 2012?
Hey, I didn't say drugs. I just said stuff
no,
online.
He said stuff for Ray.
No, not you. I'm talking about the Coachella guys. I'm not talking about you.
All right.
I'm talking about the Coachella guys.
He was just buying glow sticks and shit, man. Come on, stuff for Ray,
man.
But how much was that Bitcoin that you were buying in 2012?
I don't even. I was buying like $60 worth, and that was like a couple hundred at least. Like it was like nothing. But again, I thought I was like, I don't know why we're buying this thing, but all right, if
this is just a piece to the puzzle, yeah.
Dude, it's so weird because like I have this like for some reason like this vivid memory of me. Arthur, you were actually in there, but it was one of the kids that we went to high school with, and we were literally on the Silk Road, in his room, like on the dark web on the Silk Road, and we were on the Silk Road looking at everything, and like literally stuff on there, and man, this was actually 2010. To be honest, this was senior year of high school. We graduated in 2010, and stuff on there was like 18 Bitcoin, 19 Bitcoin, 20 Bitcoin for what you could imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it was. This is why Silk Road and Sam Ulbricht play such an important role in Bitcoin's history. Is basically the notion of cryptocurrency being used to like buy stuff and everything stems from that.
Do you think it should be used as a currency, or do you think it should be like held as, something to invest in and hold it?
For Bitcoin in particular, it's actually really inefficient to use as a currency, just because the network is super slow. It gets congested pretty easily.
Right.
The supply is super finite, and it. Like I said, it's really not fast at all, and those fees could be expensive in a very congested network. So, that's why you have tokens, different networks and altcoins that perform a lot faster and process transactions a lot faster, that are more suitable for day-to-day transactions. So Bitcoin to me is like basically a store value type of thing. Like I said, with its finite supply and how it's like earned and everything, is where its value stems from. But yeah, that's as far as the currency now.
I just know I've been seeing Jack Dorsey talk a lot. Like he'll be like, "Oh, if we're not using it as a currency, then it's a failed project." And you're like, "What do you mean it's a failed project? What are you talking about?" And then they started like, people have like, do you think Jack Dorsey is Satoshi?
I don't think so.
You don't think? I think it's best for it not to be known who made Bitcoin. Yeah. But like, I went down this rabbit hole and I saw so much, and they were like, "Yeah, the first person who made Bitcoin was in New York, where Jack Dorsey was living at the time." And it like,
if like someone put a gun to my head and said, "You got your best bet, like this is your best bet to guess who it is, or you're dead," I would say the CIA.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
before the Jack Dorsey thing, there was also this I forgot his name, but there was like this like prominent developer in the tech industry, kind of like super old school. Forgot his name, but like him and it was him and his partner that really like were caught in the limelight of being Satoshi basically. And I mean, and then all of a sudden, like people like found their social medias online and everything, and they had no idea like this was going on.
Oh, sure.
And then they started getting like attacked on social media, like really like people trying to do HBO's trying to do documentaries with them and everything. Like, and she's like she comes out on Twitter and she's like, I have no idea what crypto is.
What are you talking about? Like,
if I created that, I'd be doing a lot better. Like,
yeah.
Okay, and I have a question about these meme coins and everything like that, because it just seems to be the new wave of this cycle. Like meme coins just started popping up and everything like that. And I think like there are coins with great utilities, like, you know, you can build things on top of Ethereum and whatnot. XRP allows you to make transactions so much faster and everything. But these meme coins and everything just seem to be, hey, I'm going to promote. Can you get, you know, come in and get
Pump
in
and
on the
dump.
wave before it seems to be pump and dumps.
That's what
Most
it feels like. Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, right now we're in a stage of the market where it's just massive amounts of PvP, like player versus player. Everyone's, I mean, market conditions are just absolutely horrendous right now.
Yeah.
People are just trying to make a quick buck, dumping, like you said, dumping on each other. You know, for a little bit, it turns into PvE, player versus environment, where, you know, and that usually happens in like in a super bullish market. But you know, Pump Fun, and I solely blame Pump Fun for this, but they made it extremely easy, you know, to develop a token. You don't need to provide any liquidity when you're creating this token, and they honestly made it extremely easy for scammers to scam. Like it, you know,
It's the
but
worst thing that happened in crypto.
everyone, you know, everyone kind of goes into it now knowing that like it's a race to the rug, right? So people are just buying anything right now, knowing that this is probably going to happen.
Now, do you feel
yeah.
like the fact that that's even available to do, like when you look at some of these coins, like what is the value of it? How does this make sense almost in a facet with certain coins, you know?
So, you know, there is diamonds in the rough that come from Pump Fun and meme coins, essentially, right? And specifically AI tokens or like AI infrastructure tokens, agents, whatever that launch their token on Pump Fun and turn out to be a legitimate project. You know, and that just comes with like, you know, doing your own due diligence and researching and making sure, you know, everything's checking your boxes, whether that be the dev team is docs, they have a history, people are vouching for them, the distribution of the token's really good. You know, everything about it seems relatively sound.
Gotcha. And then what is the utility of these tokens? Like how he was saying, like you can build things on Ethereum and so then how does the utility of these work? As far as like, can you hold them or must you move them quickly or, you know?
You know, it depends on market condition, but like as far as like utility of a token, I mean, I guess it depends on like on what the token's trying to do, because there's different sectors of utility, right? Like you have DPIN, which is kind of like a hard like infrastructure thing that provides infrastructure to people. For example, a DPIN project would be Render, right? Render provides like a GPU, like cloud GPU for people that are wanting to develop AI, like stuff like that.
Okay.
AI infrastructure is kind of like a, you know, a housing terminal for everything AI, right? Like it's a one-stop shop. It has its own AI agents, does everything on AI. It's its own language model, et cetera, et cetera. An AI agent is kind of just an agent, meaning like kind of like a robot on the internet that's, you know, speaking and doing all these things, but infrastructure houses all of that. But yeah, then there's other utilities too. Like for example, like XRP's utility is to like bridge payments faster. Ethereum, and whatever's built on Ethereum. I look at Ethereum as like the building blocks of like crypto. Like everything is like kind of built on Ethereum.
Okay.
For the most part, unless it's on a different network. Like you have like layer 2s, you have a bunch of like DeFi protocols, stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, because with Ethereum, everybody wants it to everybody keeps buying it thinking it's going to go up, but being that so much is built on top of it and it's such a useful thing, I've never looked at it as something to profit from or something to like buy to hold like a Bitcoin. I just feel like you buy that if you want to build on top. But tell me if I'm wrong, because you guys are way better and smarter in this space than me.
I mean, so buying Ethereum is like you're buying something that's like the source for everything, right?
Mhm.
You don't. I mean, yeah, you need whatever token on said network to interact with that network, but it all comes to like your personal preference. Like if you like what this network's doing and you want to make a bet on it, then go ahead. But yeah, if you think Ethereum is going to play a crucial role in the long term, then yeah,
I think to go off of what Vert was saying is, originally that was like kind of the only way to build, right?
Mhm.
So there was huge value in it, and that's why I think why we're not seeing it hit all-time highs this cycle yet, and Bitcoin did, is because it's not the only thing to build on anymore. There are other chains to build on now. So
That's
it's right. Solana, Avalanche, a
Mhm.
lot of chains now. Base.
And now,
Yeah.
what is the difference between these chains in general? They're all still blockchain, right? But they're just different.
So so you have Ethereum, then you have its layer 2s, and then you have obviously like different networks that are not Ethereum related. Solana is not connected to Ethereum at all; it's its own thing. But just to kind of like explain what Ethereum and layer 2s are. Layer 2s are basically like sub networks of Ethereum. Like you could build a network on top of Ethereum.
Okay.
Why people do this is because it's a lot faster. Transaction times get a lot faster. The fees are way less because everyone knows like the fees on Ethereum mainnet are
crazy.
outrageous when
I've always heard gas fees are crazy.
Oh, they're crazy. I've seen that. Yeah.
I don't even want to tell you guys like how much I paid in gas before, like during like a crazy mint on a project or
ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm talking
a whole
thousands.
ETH. Like a whole ETH.
Can be how much? Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, when I was minting the other side land from Bored Ape Yacht Club like that, and that was like a really hype mint. I paid like 7,000 in gas fees for a transaction.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I paid.
And that's not even going towards the thing. That's not even going towards the actual thing. That's just the gas fee.
No.
It killed all the profitability. It was dead.
Yeah.
And what about NFTs for you guys? How do you guys feel about NFTs and that space in that world?
Yeah, and explain how it. Yeah, explain the utilities
of NFT. What are your thoughts on NFTs?
Yeah,
I'm not that big into the NFT space and world anymore, but we definitely had some fun with it. The actual technology of it makes total sense.
Right.
The flipping of photos with it, no. Right.
Yeah.
But the actual tech makes perfect sense, and that's how future tech should go towards. But I think Foti had something he wanted to touch up on that.
Yeah, back to the utility thing. I think people have like such like sometimes kind of like a misconstrued idea of utility, or if like something needs utility in the first place. I feel like sometimes the word gets thrown around too much, and and not always do NFTs get their value from that. Matter of fact, the most valuable NFTs have zero utility. CryptoPunks, probably the most valuable NFT now. There's no utility for that at all. It's just what it is. It's history it's history in the NFT space too, right? Like that's quote unquote the first like PFP NFT project. PFP meaning like profile. The 10K projects that you see, like with all like the different animals and stuff like that, they call them PFP projects, where people change their profile pictures to the NFTs. Like that was the first one. And like I said, just like the history of it, and that's and then over time
after that too, right?
Yeah, and then over time, like your project's just as good as what your community. It just turns out the CryptoPunk community developed a strong and loyal, diehard community behind it, and that's pretty much where its history. Then that's where its value derives from.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, some NFT projects promise utility, and then it might sound cool at first, but later down the road, it's like really not that cutting edge. It depends.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Break down Web3 to me like I was a 5-year-old idiot.
And he's really 6.
He was born on a leap year.
February 29th.
I feel like the best way to put it is like everything on the internet that requires blockchain to operate.
That's what Web3 is. Just everything on it. Because I see back to Jack Dorsey, he has this new thing called Nostr. And it's like it's social media, but you can send people sats and like everything you own versus the actual like what Twitter actually owns all your stuff. Like Nostr, you actually own your profiles. You can transfer your profiles to different places and things like that.
And that's because your profile is on the blockchain, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your assets for paying for stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, for a little bit, Twitter became like kind of like a Web3 platform because you would have to verify what NFTs that you own by connecting your wallet for your profile picture.
Cool.
And then,
that was when Jack was really still the boss over there. I remember doing a couple of things and putting his profile. He had a Bored Ape or something like that. And I recall. I recall. So
Elon said, cut that shit out.
He said, I don't own any NFTs, so fuck it. So fuck it. Well, he owns what is it? Dogecoin. So that's
he owns Doge. Yeah, what are y'all thoughts on Doge?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Dogecoin?
What are your thoughts on Doge?
Just cultured meme. See, like me and Foti talk about this all the time. If Pump Fun killed like the good meme culture, before you'd get like, maybe like 100 memes throughout the year, and like 1 to 3 would stick. And like if you were in the know, if you were like a cool crypto kid, like you would hear about it first, and that was your chance to like get in on it, and then tell your group, and then everyone just crushed it, right? But we knew, right? We just had to wait for the good one, and now, like at its peak, Pump Fun was pumping out 50,000 meme coins in 24 hours per day. Like, what is going on?
That's just like
it
Spotify.
just killed it, and like Doge would become like a whole thing, and the meme coins would last for like months. It was like when GameStop and AMC, right? That was a whole like everyone on the street talked about it. You're like, oh, yo, did you see that on the news? Crazy, right? That's how the old school memes were. Doge, Shib, Kishu, Pepe was kind of the, not kind of, it was the last like culture meme, and then it just died. And like, I get really sad about that because I was at we were at the forefront of that meme culture, bro. One of the reasons why Blake and I got so close was because we were in Mexico at the Hyatt, just drinking. And then we were day one in Akita, which was a spin-off of Shib, and we made like 2 Bitcoin in a day. And I just started buying Dom, and like that was the height of the meme culture. It was nuts. and
Man.
I'm talking Bitcoin was 52 grand then. Like everything was peaking, and I made 2 in like just a few hours, and then Blake crushed it. Avant made like 30-40 bands. It was just nuts.
Yeah.
But it was a sweet, like, it lasted for like a month. Everyone was happy. It was like a thing that everyone talked about, and then like you just have to wait like another probably year until something cool happened like that again. And now it's just a crypto casino and shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blake. I just want to say that's our boy. He introduced us in Mexico. Blake,
Yeah.
we went to college together. Blake Rasco, he was John Legend's manager. Like
Oh shit.
The man has so many jobs. He's so mysterious.
That's awesome.
So many jobs. But like that's a good man. So shout out to him.
Oh,
But I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to. Okay, so I wanted to ask you guys how does Stocks Unlocked help people navigate this world, your business, your company, and everything? How does it? How do you guys help people navigate and make money? Like
very quickly before
All
you do that. So the question you asked tags on to the one I wanted to ask.
Okay.
I wanted you to very quickly go back to when you got into the crypto
everything,
okay, and then lead us to Stock Unlocked, and then
All right. So here's how I got started, and here's how Stock Unlocked happened.
Okay.
So in 2016, when I saw him buying, I think it's called XMR now.
Okay.
So I got into crypto in 2016 just to invest in something because it was cheap and I didn't have much really to invest in. So ADA was the first crypto I bought, 2 cents. And then when I started a job at Marquee Nightclub, I was started to earn a bit more. And then I bought Ethereum at like $40-$50 and then I was stacking that a lot. I probably invested like 40 to 45 grand and turned it upwards of like 800. And that was just a buy, hold, buy, hold, buy, hold. My ADA at the time went from 2 cents to like $1.31. I remember it perfect. I never sold crap. It wasn't until I got down to like 300K ish. I was like, you know what? I was a pro investor. I'm probably a pro trader. Watch, took it, lost all that in about a year's time.
Damn. Wow.
Or less. Went through some serious depression, some bad times, car repo, just bad, back to gambling and shit, bad stuff. And then, but I just didn't want to stop. It was just something that I wanted to do, and I knew that I wanted to do it. So I gathered up like, this took like a year plus to recover. And I finally gathered like, 20 to 30K. I got into the stock market. And then I took a different approach. I watched YouTube like crazy, watched this stuff. Shout out to Zip Trader, who has been on YouTube for like freaking 12, 15 years plus now. But I would find pharmaceutical stocks that he would talk about that would have FDA trial dates that would come up. And the reason was because just like when a good stock has earnings, it normally runs up before that, right? And then it pumps. And then on earnings day, after the market closes, it'll either rocket or dump. Well, same thing with the FDA trials. You would play the pump beforehand. Granted, I just knew that it would pump beforehand. I didn't know like good entries, good exits, stuff like that. But I was playing those pumps well. I started to kind of learn the chart a little bit, to kind of know when to get in and when to sell. And then once I started doing that and then started to post that, I was doing good for like 6-7 months. I was posting online. I'm like, damn, I finally like found my thing. And then Josh Westerman, who used to work in nightlife, with us, and then he moved from the Vegas night club scene, moved to Miami, started working at, I think, like Merrill Lynch in finance or something like that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, man, try options," because he would see me posting. Oh, the downfall starts again, man.
It's
Hold on.
crazy.
So I do my first option. It was the best and worst thing that ever happened to me. Best too, though. So first option ever in my life, I put $1,000 into Beyond 90 calls, and Beyond is like a garbage stock now. It's terrible, but back then it went up to like $200. But I didn't even know that Beyond had a earnings that was up. Right? I didn't even know that. I just threw in a blind option because the chart looked kind of good. So next thing you know, my option's flying. The first day I'm up like $8,000. The next day I'm up to 16 grand. I'm like, what? I'm up 16 grand from $1,000 in 2 days. It drops to like 13.5. I sell. I'm like, I'm buying a yacht in no time. Everyone is retarded. No, I figured it out. Glitch. I'm locked in, bro. I'm like already thinking, oh, I can't wait to email my boss. I'm cooking. I lost all that profit in 3 weeks, and then I fell into option spiral, had no idea what I was doing, and then blew the whole account. And mass depression starts all over again.
Shit.
I'm right back down. I look at my account, it says minus 100%, minus 31,000, because I added a few more into it too, like as I was going.
Sheesh.
Tried
and fucking tested.
Way.
I see the PTSD in your eyes, man.
It's there. All these highs and lows are there, bro.
No, you just drifted off for a second.
But it's made me who I am now.
Right.
So after wanting to just Jesus take the wheel as I'm driving home, I start thinking, I'm like, how the hell did I turn $1,000 to $16K though? Like that compound is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So started to make some more money again. Tried it again. Had like $3,000, and I was like walking in there like Rocky round 12, just beat up. I'm like sad as shit, but like I knew I had something because I was doing stuff right. So I was like, I knew I had something. And then I stumble into like tons of chat rooms. Most of them are trash. And then I stumble into this chat room where I meet my mentor and one of the partners. Blast is what he goes by. So I start to see this guy, and his avatar is his face with the Sub-Zero mask. I'm like, dope. He likes Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. But then he's just posting all these charts and nonstop. I'm like, this guy's just going at it. And then like 20 minutes goes by. What he said happened. In next picture he sent, boom, it would happen. It would happen. I'm like, this guy's awesome. So then I just would talk to him for like 2-3 hours a day. And then I asked him to mentor me. I paid him like a little bit, but it wasn't even that he wanted the money. He literally was like, so like, how much you got? Like, how much are you trading with? I'm like, dude, I got like $1,500 in my trading account and like 1,000 or like 1,500 in my bank account. Not much. He goes, all right, give me $500. I'm like, God damn, $500.
No, let me see. That was more like a test.
It's almost half.
I was like, God.
Give me half of what you have.
I was like, this is crazy.
Crypto shit.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna learn. He's gonna learn today.
I was like, but you're crushing the market. But anyway, I was torn. But then the next day, I was like, dude, I would go bet $1,000 on red to try to save my life. I was like, why not do this? So then I did it. But the whole reason he did it, he wanted to make sure that show up and care.
Right.
And then we were going at it nonstop for a year and a half, and a lot of my problem wasn't the skill; it was the psychological factor, and that's what actually most traders' problem is, because it's like 10% skill, like 15% risk management, and then 85% psychology. It's like, or like 75% psychology. It's anyway. So we were doing good. And then I was kind of I was on the transition out of my nightlife job overall. At that time, I would just book my clients, but I didn't actually work at the club. Uh, but as I'm learning, I see the sports better. Vegas Dave, which a lot of people
Vegas
probably
Dave,
know.
yeah.
And I see this dude of selling his picks for $5,000 a pop and making like 1.6 million in a month. And I'm like, yo,
Oh,
Blast, I
no.
feel like I could
No.
sell your picks and like my picks, because I'm getting pretty good at this.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, well let's see what you can do. So he put full blind trust in me to turn it into a business, because he didn't want to. He worked at Goldman for I think 16 years.
Oh,
He was retired, actually living off the coast of Cartagena, because he's from Bogota.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, man. You seem like you know business, which that I kind of knew a little bit then. I was like, yeah, man, let's see what I could do. And then it was just going to be selling just trades, and then when people joined, the first year was just all like friends and family.
Okay.
And then like everybody wanted to learn. Almost everybody just wanted to learn. And then I realized I was getting better and better the more that I taught people what I knew. Because at that time, I knew two strategies extremely well, and I would just repeat those nonstop. And then I would just teach that. And then over the years, I got better, but then I like found joy in it too. Because before, I was waking up at like 6 a.m., trading, gym, come home, smoke weed all day, nap, eat, gym, smoke weed all day. And then I would just spend all my money on just garbage. Um, and then we turned it into like a teaching thing. And then now we've kind of branched out into three things that we do. We have the education platform, which is the app, which is the web app. We have the trade tracker, which is one of the few tools that we want to bring to traders to help them trade, to track their notes, to track their stats, to see, hey, am I a good swing trader, or am I a good day trader? Am I really good at this strategy, or am I really good at this strategy? Which stocks or coins do I lose on the most? Which ones do I win on the most? Blah blah blah. And then we have the Discord, which is where we do the trading. But I really wanted to do a lot more than just the Discord, because that's what everyone has.
Right.
So it really came like, hey, let's build out this best structure of software that we think will teach people. Let's give them all the tools that they need, and then let's sit in there with them and trade too. So
Right.
that's how it started, and that's Stock Unlocked.
Wow. That's
Real
awesome.
quick, shout out Zip Trader, and I want to say Nick, our editor / shooter, he's been like screaming at us about watch Zip Trader, watch Zip Trader, watch Zip Trader. So you're
He's
right.
great.
Right, Nick.
He's great.
That's crazy.
Nick right.
You scared me for a second when you were like, and then I saw Vegas Dave. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I thought you were going to be
I know.
fuck these coins. I could just put the money over it.
No.
Don't do that. That's funny. I guess you learned the first two times. I'm glad.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's fine. So, and then Justin came on. What year did you come in?
Yeah, I mean, just to give some backstory too, to kind of like piggyback off of like how I got started as well. Like you said, me and Arthur were, we were buying crypto in 2016 too. Like, I was buying that Monero coin, and And then I was buying Litecoin a lot too.
That
But
was
I feel
epic.
like, you know, back then with crypto still being like so novel, nobody really knows what it's going to do. And like, you
I've
know,
never
it's
lost more money than in Litecoin. I've never lost more money.
like that.
I see the trauma eyes.
You'd
I never.
you'd sell it when it doubles and stuff. Cause like, you don't know what's going on. Like, oh my God, I made money in this, you know? So like that happened in 2016. I did, however, I bought ADA with Arthur actually. And funny story is I put it into one of their like native wallets that they have, right? I lost that wallet completely. And then not until last bull cycle where I actually found the seed phrase digging through a bunch of like papers and stuff like in a lost drawer. I literally found it. And then I recovered it, and that was like a pretty nice. And this is when ADA was like $2.40, and I recovered like a nice chunk of change of ADA, and sold it right then. But yeah,
Sold it right then.
Yeah.
He said,
and it's been down ever since. It's been down ever since.
hilarious. That's wow. That's crazy to lose something for that long and it's still up, and you're like, let's get rid of it. And then
Yeah.
Great time.
But yeah, just to kind of like fast forward, like when I really like sunk my teeth into the whole crypto game would have to be what do you think, Arthur? 2020 when I came to LA on my birthday.
It was that first NFT flip, bro.
Man, yeah. So we
Just like that first option, bro. You got your first hit of the cleanest crack ever.
Yeah. To be honest, Arthur was buying NFTs first before me. He really was.
I even got you on that whitelist. Just saying.
Hold on. We're gonna get into that. So yeah, I mean, I came to LA on my birthday because Arthur used to live in LA, and I was visiting him, and he was getting me into NFTs. So, you know, and then I'm like, you know, I kind of thought they were pretty cool. So I started like diving really deep into it. And then Arthur told me about this project at the time called Chain. And then the developer had a previous project that had like an insane, by the way, shout out to the Chain dev because like, and his wife, because they were super dope, and it's gonna tie into like this whole like my whole NFT journey, really.
Okay.
This one NFTs were like art and cool and scarce.
And
so the dev had
2020, right? Yeah.
So the dev had a previous project that had like a floor price of something crazy at the time. I think it was like 90 ETH, 90 to 100 ETH when Ethereum was like what, $3,200, something like that. So he had
crazy expensive,
and he had another project coming out that Arthur told me about. And at the time, really like how they would do things were and they still do to an extent, was being whitelisted for the mint, meaning you got selected to mint the project, right? Kind of like a private sale.
Gotcha.
And there was only 500 pieces of this of this collection at the time. That was like very small, and it was extremely sought after. And you know, me being I just got real slimy. Like I was like making. I shouldn't say slimy, but like I was making good with the dev. You know, I was showing up every day. I was becoming their friends. I wasn't just talking about the project. I was talking about like their personal lives. I was like really connecting with them. Right. Like I'm playing mental warfare to get this whitelist. Like, I really am.
I'm from the club industry, man.
But listen.
Facts. Yeah, that's the club in you for sure. I'm selling this damn table.
Yeah.
Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you know, eventually, like you know, I got picked for a whitelist out of like, and when I tell you there was like at least 30,000 people in this Discord trying to get this whitelist, there was. And I was one of the 500. I minted it. It cost me about, at the time, 0.3 ETH was $1,000. Literally, I didn't have shit to my name. But like, you know, I bought 0.3 ETH. I minted the project at the time, and I could have sold it the same day for $100 and something thousand. But me being completely novel to the space, I'm thinking, oh, dude, his previous project went this high. This is probably going to go just as high.
On the
This and
fucking
that,
moon.
and I'm holding it. And then, like a week goes by and I'm just like, and I'm looking at the floor price just continuously go down. I'm like, Justin, this is like life-changing money for you, bro. Like, what are you doing? And then I sold it. I sold it for 30 grand a week later. So, if 1,000 to 30, that's insane. That
A
was
little
insane.
bit more. No, it was like 13 ETH, bro. So almost 40K.
No, it was 8 ETH I sold it for. At that time it was like
Oh.
30,000.
But that's shit.
Um,
That's still up. But like you said, it's the same as
Yeah.
having that option and getting 15,000, 16,000. You're like, wait, there's something to this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for real. And then after that, I just got obsessed. I became obsessed with NFTs. I was like literally day and night, didn't sleep. I wanted to know the space inside and out, who's who are the devs, this and that. Minting all these different NFTs, going down this rabbit hole of NFT history. And yeah, and then it kind of just like went from there. And then at that time, I was just calling these plays out in Stock Lock Discord, kind of just because, and then I decided, and then we made like a whole thing about it. We became, we developed like an NFT at first in Stock Lock. It was just an NFT section where I would just call out these NFTs. But yeah, and then I managed to build up a $500,000 bag of NFTs. I was buying stupid stuff like pictures of cartoon cats for 40 to 50 grand a piece. But along the way I was making insane flips too. Like I was at that time, man, NFTs were just like, it was just not a real thing, man. I was like
You just
flipping.
had to get in. You had to
Yeah.
get in on the whitelist when it
I
was
was-
cool.
I was making $10,000 flips in an hour. I was getting airdropped free NFTs and sold them for like $6 grand right away because like it was from a cool dev. Like
Wow.
it was just insane. And
So with NFTs, you need someone to purchase it off of you, correct? You have to find a
Yeah.
buyer.
Yes.
yeah, but at that time though, like, and there's marketplaces for NFTs, of course. At that time though, projects had volume.
Right.
Just
Mhm.
and it was really not that hard to sell them at all. Like you could almost sell them instantly.
Yeah, no, I've seen like
You-
literally people I knew who had completely other jobs. When NFTs they went completely into that. Have you ever heard of this guy named Matt Medved? He's really
Yeah, I actually have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I known him back when he was just a dance music writer at Billboard, and he was like DJing and doing NFTs happen. This motherfucker went all in. Like I'm talking about, and he was killing it. Same, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like it was a shift. It was a major shift.
There's only ever been one NFT that I saw that I was like, I'd fucking buy that.
Which
it was
one?
The It was the one where you can keep on zooming and like you can like it never like it'll be a cat on a boat and then you zoom into the eye and then you'll be in outer space and then you zoom in a little more and then you'll be
That sounds like an AI NFT.
Dude, it's so funny you say that, but that's actually what Broadchain's dev's previous project was, proof of artwork. But same concept, but like you could zoom in on it and it'd be like a whole nother set of imagery.
That's when I was like, this
cool.
shit is brilliant. That's when I was like, how I'd buy this.
Yes.
But like Bored Apes and all that, I was like, screenshot. And
Yeah, but see, those are the PFPs. So like what the Broadchain project was, it was actual like digital art.
yeah.
And then came the PFPs where there's 10,000 pictures of this dog or a cat or a bear. All that stuff came
And that's
after.
what's it called? Cyberpunk or that
CryptoPunks.
CryptoPunks.
Yeah,
That's basically
that was
what
the first one.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of images. Just yeah. Jesus Christ.
And kind of just going back to what I was saying too, like a lot of lessons were learned too, because like some of those NFTs that I bought for like 60, 50 grand, I still hold to this day, and they're not nearly worth as much.
They're worth
At-
like $50.
like maybe not 50, but like a couple grand over 50,000. Like that's kind of like nuts.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's the
there was
cats.
lessons learned. And you know, I didn't let it eat me up, and I just, you know, I still look for opportunity every day in the market to, you know, on to kind of just like subside that loss. And it's, you know, it's been working out. But yeah, fast forward, you know, and this whole time I'm still working in nightlife.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, wow.
and just like last New Year's Eve, I quit nightlife and I went, you know, full in on stock lock and, you know, just focusing on the Web3 thing pretty much. Yeah.
Yes,
That's awesome.
sir.
So now me and Maestro and Nick are in stock unlocked with you guys.
Hell
And
yeah.
we're about taking this journey with you guys. And
Make sure you book your one-on-one calls.
Oh, 100.
Absolutely.
No, we're gonna. I
Yeah.
want to kind of do them, yeah, at the same time, so we were both on the same page, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I definitely, I looked at the Discord and I was like, I need some understanding of this.
Mhm. That's what the first call is for, baby.
no, I get it, yeah, for sure.
But I'm excited to take this journey with you guys, but also like I'm excited for our audience to like see us take this journey with you guys and learn and make our mistakes and everything like that and get better.
Yeah.
So like, I'm hyped about this, man. I'm hyped. Do you guys want to do like a stock unlock drop or something like that, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
With
give
like, where do we find it, or you know, where do
where do
they
you
find
find
it?
it? How do you, you know,
Yeah,
Yeah. IG is at Stock Unlocked. The YouTube at Stock Unlocked. The podcast on Spotify at Stock Unlocked. Not hard to find. And then if you go on the Stock Unlocked page, if you go on who we're following, it's our team. So you
Okay.
could find me, you can find Foti, you can find my mentor, and yeah, just everyone on our team.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And stockandlock.com.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had this one question. When you generally have new people coming in, what are usually the first mistakes that you notice that new traders make, or like little things that you've noticed over the course of like, oh, this shit happens every time, they don't know?
You would be dumbfounded by the answer. They they don't learn how to use the app, and they don't take profits. Like when I say to take profits, so they just like hold on the whole time,
So they're like,
and that's just
they're stock marketing it like in their mind. Like, oh,
they're just not. They pay to come and get a plan for me. They
yeah,
get the plan for me, and then they do their own
they
plan.
do their
and
own
try,
thing.
They try to beat my plan. It's like, then why'd you pay for my plan?
you know what that sounds like? It sounds like
It's
therapy.
an asshole.
People
is the
go to
word.
therapy,
Yeah, right.
and then they don't listen to shit that the therapist says, and then they come back and be like,
Yeah.
"Why is my life in shambles?
Why is this not working?
Because
Yep.
you're not doing it."
Yeah. I mean,
And then
that's
the
just,
second biggest thing is they don't calculate their trade size, which is just risking, depending on your portfolio size, 1 to 5% of your account per trade.
Okay.
And we saw that as such a mistake that we even built a trade calculator where people can literally type in whatever percent, just type in the 3, it'll calculate for you. You don't got to do anything. Just type in 3, type in the target that I provide, type in the stop loss that I provide. It'll tell you exactly how much coins they buy.
Motherfuckers
They
don't use.
will buy way more, lose like 30% of their account in one trade, and try to go all in the next trade, and then it's done that fast. Those are the two most common errors. And then the number 3 is just not watching the basics, the introduction, and the tools, like the videos that you are literally paying for. I think they just want to come in, they see us doing well, they're like, I just need to press a button and make money. It's just watch it.
Well, it's funny.
It's watched a couple of videos.
People, but it's the even listening to your like the two of your stories, like that's why I even said like, damn, you're tried and tested. Like, there's a reason why certain people get certain places, man, because they're willing to fucking hit the peaks and valleys, learn from their mistakes, do the extra work, put in the like you're like, I'm making it as easy for you as I can make it. All you have to do is just a little homework, but that just shows you how many people don't want to do any homework. And it's
Right.
like, damn, like nothing works that way. Nothing ever that you can try to build works that way. So those are
Yeah,
the funny
it's
things.
what's the saying? You can bring a horse to water, but
Water,
you
but you
can't
can't make it
make
drink.
it drink.
Mhm.
I'm over
Dude.
here sticking the horse's head in the water, and it won't take a gulp. Just take a gulp, man.
Dude, this is why we kind of have like a huge like problem with copy trading too. It's because like what Arthur was saying, like if you're not fully understanding why something is happening and you get upset about it, it's your own self to blame.
Mhm.
Listen, I say this all the time, even when I'm talking to I was telling my parents this. As I've gotten older, I realized that's like, even when I'm nervous about doing things, or even when I'm like uncomfortable in all of that just stems from not comprehending what's going on. It's really
Right.
not, you know what I mean? Like, even if you look at are we scared of rocket science? Because we just don't
Mhm.
comprehend why the fuck this works that way. But if you take the time to understand it, nothing's really all that scary, but it takes a lot of work to understand certain
Fear of the
things.
unknown, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of the other last bits of things that I gotta say for anyone that wants to be a trader is just take it from me as someone that lived in Vegas for 24 years, had a gambling problem. Trading literally is the time where you can be the house. And let me explain. So I'm sure all of us have played blackjack, and I'm sure all of us have been on a heater in blackjack.
Mhm.
But every time, if we stay there and keep playing the same game of blackjack,
Okay.
mathematically those chips will go right back to the house, hence the expression, the house always wins.
Mhm.
But what happens is the house is paying you out when they lose, right? So us as traders, we're gonna lose. If you think you're gonna get into trading and not lose a lot, wrong game. Go do something else. Wrong game.
Right.
But we know if we run the same strategy, the same game over and over and over and over and over and over, in the long run, the money comes back, right? And that's where people screw up. And that's why sizing your trades is so important, because what happens if I go on a 4, 5, 6 trade losing streak, which I do all the time, but then I bounce back with like an 8 win streak, 10 win streak. But what's crazy is the most profitable trader, and I'm talking, this is data from like 10 years of trading history with one of the best traders in the world, 63% win rate.
Wow.
Because the risk to reward is all that matters in trading.
Mhm.
So the normal average risk to reward as a trader is 3-1 or 4-1, meaning per every $1 that's at risk, I can win 3 to 4. That means I can only win 30 to 40% of my trades to gain a 20% portfolio increase, and keep doing that over and over. 30 to 40%. And I get blessed some quarters where I do like, I've had quarters, again, this does not happen off. I've had quarters where I've done 80, right?
Right.
Q4, I did 58%.
Wow.
Q3 last year, I did like 61, but the market was on fire. But I'm talking with 60% win rate, we're doing 400 to 500% returns with
Right.
that.
Because
So
it's
for
slow and steady wins the race. It's not so much, let me take half my portfolio and bet it on this one because this is no.
right, you
Right.
got to be able to just stay in the ring, right? You got to be able to keep swinging at the bat. If you got no bat, you can't swing. You got no funds, you can't put into trades.
Right.
You know how I like you?
What's
You're a
up?
straight shooter.
Really
Like,
is.
Sure am.
No, seriously. Like, because other people, when they're trying to promote their product or trying to get people to come, they're like, we win. All we do is win over here. All we fucking do is win. You better get
Nigga,
on
I ain't lost since 2016.
Never lost. Never lost no money.
Not now, not never.
You were like, bro, I had 3 mental breakdowns. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Trauma,
Like,
bro.
But you're like, once you get yourself in order and once you get the psychology right and once you take the proper steps, you know what I'm saying, you can win. And
Yeah.
it's a calculated wins. I appreciate that. And I
No,
appreciate you.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And even what you're saying sounds, especially how we even started, where it's like, oh, altcoin, shit coins, whatever. Like, how is there a logical? But your investment strategy is sound. So regardless of what you're trading or the utility,
Yep.
as I would like to say, but
Right.
if the investment strategy is sound, then you still can win, and that makes the most sense out of anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's up or down, you just gotta put the strategy and understand that all strategies fail. And there's not a single business in the world out there
Right.
that doesn't cost money to make money. There's no person that owns a $1 million business that probably isn't, buying inventory or paying salaries or something of cost to generate that million.
Or
It's the
that debt
same
they
thing,
went into to make the $1 million company in the
right?
beginning.
Or this,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing with trading. Those are our costs of operating. That is the cost of doing business, is taking our losses.
Right. Damn.
The only easy day was yesterday.
What was yesterday?
No, the only easy day was yesterday.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Every day gets
Right.
harder and harder
Every
and
day
harder.
gets harder. It's very
Jesus
true.
Christ. What? All right. I got one question. What was your biggest loss and your biggest win?
I don't know if I want to discuss my biggest win, but I'll
That's
discuss
fine.
my biggest loss.
He said, I don't need motherfuckers trying to run up on me. It was good.
People already know I'm in Vegas. They don't need to know how much I got exactly.
Yeah.
And that should go a
my-
long way in Vegas, boy. Woo!
my biggest loss in the stock market was 57K on one trade. My biggest loss in the crypto market, if you don't count that, 800K just getting wiped out in a couple months.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, that was probably. I was like, that was
yeah.
probably.
I mean, that would have to be the most because it was so fast. Dude, when I from 800 to 300 was a slow bleed down, but when I finally pulled out, that 300 to 0 happened so fast. I couldn't even like put it together. I'm like, how did it happen so fast?
Yeah.
So I think that, and honestly, that was the biggest. When I got back into crypto, I was already good at trading, so I didn't have like crazy crypto losses that were like outside the norm. Yeah, I fumbled like, 20, 30K into zero in like some in some projects or in some NFTs and stuff, but nothing like before. But that just came with a lot of the shit that I learned when I got beat up a couple times.
Yeah.
Mm.
But see that
Damn.
you have to get beat up, right? Like you
have
gotta
to.
go through. You gotta get in the ring, right? So
Absolutely.
it's like
Yeah.
when I first got into all these cryptocurrencies and everything in 2017, I was
Mhm.
made money hand over foot, and then I lost it. Oh, very fast.
Dude,
But
it's like you see the same thing happening every cycle, just like in a different form of something, right? Right. Like the altcoin. Well, you're in 2016, 2017. I feel like that was like altcoin mania.
the
Wouldn't you
altcoin
say?
it was NFT mania. Now it's meme coin mania.
Exactly. It's the same. It happens the same way. It's the same thing, but it's just like a different sector.
But I just kind of a maxi, a little bit.
Okay to be a. I'm reverting to Bitcoin Maxi over here, dude.
Oh, my boy. That's why I
Yeah.
love you. Kind of a
Yep.
max, but it's like I really, after I lost and everything, you start doing your research. You start figuring out what's what. And then I started just going into like, let me just stay in Bitcoin. Let me just buy the dips.
It was 7,000 the other day. I was like, ooh.
I've been eating all week. Oh my God. I've been fucking eating. But yeah.
I hear
I
you
will
on that.
say this, dude. There's nothing wrong with buying dips on stuff that you truly believe in. I feel like you could never like hurt yourself in the long run when you do. But I mean, that's how I look at that.
Well, look, we all got to get
I
to
feel
the
like
long
you had
run,
something to say
right?
at the end of it. I feel like there's something.
I don't know about that last bit. You could maybe hurt yourself a little bit.
You could,
Before,
you know.
before we get out of here, I want to know what's the number you think Bitcoin's going all the way up to?
This cycle, 140K.
This cycle, 140K, and
Yeah.
and overall.
Bitcoin has no ceiling. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's it.
That's so maxi of you. There is no other crypto. There's only Bitcoin. It's the only one.
Listen, I heard Michael Saylor talking, and he was like, "You never spend your Bitcoin. You just keep it forever." And I'm just sitting here like, yeah.
Michael Saylor is actually, he's been so hilarious because he's just sick of everyone's shit. Like, he's just like, he's at a place where he's like, when people ask and like they don't know, he's like, I'll repeat myself again. Like, he's always just fucking like like this. Like,
he does have a short fuse.
Very
like,
short.
what don't you get?
Have you seen the movie The Big Short, where he knows he's right, but he's just getting wrecked for a while, and then it finally pays off?
That's Michael Saylor.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
Saylor.
That motherfucking boy. He gets. I mean, even the fact that he was able. I was listening to this interview he did, and just how he was able to get MicroStrategy on the stock market by leveraging his Bitcoin to get bonds. It's like, dude, you really figured this. Like, that's some shit to figure out. Like,
He
no
knows the
one's
tax system.
right.
He just gets it.
He
gets
fucking
it.
gets it, bro.
He
Also,
fucking
I'd be pissed too if I've been telling motherfuckers for years that this is what's going on and this is how things work. Yeah. And then motherfuckers be like, I guess I'll put $20 in. Michael says, I'll say it again. It's going to $1 million. You hold it.
45 people in, and you're like, just hold it, okay? This is my gift to you. Just hold it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, but it's my birthday, or oh, Christmas is coming. I have to get presents. You
I will say $1 million is not unrealistic at all with how much there is and because of how much global adoption is coming. We're seeing like a 1 to 2% global adoption rate, if not faster now per year, meaning like everyone in the world, like how much people actually have some type of crypto. Before, like 1 to 2% would take 1 to 2 years to get. Now you're seeing I honestly probably like 2-3% every year now. It's just faster and faster.
And our government has a reserve currency now in Bitcoin. Like, all those little things make it real to people.
What's messed up is that reserve is basically all the Bitcoin that was confiscated from Silk Road.
I saw that, which is crazy. They were like, yeah, let's
That's why
start
they
one.
had
We
to
already
let him
got
out of jail.
Huh?
Dude.
Yeah.
And the least we could do is pardon the guy.
At least
Literally.
we can do it. Okay.
Imagine
It only
they just
took a
couldn't
few
continue.
billion Bitcoin.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Didn't that guy, wasn't he hiring hitmen and shit like that? Was that
No, that was like
That was on The Onion.
that was
I was gonna bring that up earlier, but I didn't.
the Onion.
I didn't
Well,
wanna steer that way.
Onion's is the browser. Yeah.
Yeah,
you could,
but then you remember we would see like it would cost X amount of Bitcoin to a normal person. It would cost X amount of person to like kill like a cop. It would cost like X amount to kill a politician.
websites.
It was crazy.
Oh, you
my
know,
friends.
he's referring to the documentary of like the whole conspiracy.
We
like that.
saw this, bro. We saw how much it cost to kill people.
I know.
That's the thing.
Me and you.
My friends will be like, bro, I've seen the craziest shit just go on. Like they'll tell you.
You know what this makes me wonder now? Going back to your CIA theory.
It was a whole CIA
Hey,
site.
that's what
all the criminals.
because when he said that, I was like, damn, that makes perfect sense.
Let's be real. You don't think Jeffrey had some Bitcoin and could put a couple of people on the, like, you know, like, it's such an untraceable thing. You know, it's
Man, we
yeah.
can get
I
real
could
deep
see.
right now.
That's what I'm saying.
We can
I
get
could
deep.
see how
Start a
this.
whole other 20-minute podcast because I just brushed my hair back. I was getting ready for
Taking the hat
something.
off right
Oh,
now.
Hey, let's
buddy.
fucking go. Was he Mossad? Tell like where are we at?
Well, he was definitely Mossad, but how much Bitcoin does Mossad have?
I mean, we could go into the JFK stuff too.
Oh, you took your fucking hat off. Oh, let's fucking
Dude, I
go.
just
Let's
brushed my
get
hair
some
back. I was getting ready. I'm like,
All these
planning stuff.
redacted files. What are your thoughts?
The reason
Why
is
are they withholding them all of a sudden? I thought he signed an
know,
order
dude.
and now they're withholding them.
I think that's kind of scummy, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't
And I voted
understand
for the
how
guy.
Trump is like really like trying to spearhead the Epstein files and everything when that's your best friend. Like that was your best friend. Like y'all were like
Y'all
really
were kicking it.
Did you see what how they released them though?
all redacted.
It was
Everything was
redacted.
just-
It was all in the closed room, and only far right wing influencers got to look at it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
didn't
because they came out with those binders that had old
Bind-
shit in them.
What was that?
Yeah.
Influencers too? Like what?
And then you never heard anything about it ever again after.
Nope.
Nope. You see how it just died down?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Didn't
you know,
they release names? Didn't
I
they
wanted
release
I wanted there to be just complete
No.
chaos and destruction in
right.
in the elites. I wanted to see it all fall apart.
Yeah.
I wanted to see names being dropped, this, that, yada yada yada. I guarantee you see this with Diddy's stuff too.
Oh, 100%. Well, the Diddy stuff.
He's
they're
a part of
little
the
more,
Mossad too. Come on.
they're a little more
No,
liable, but
they recruited him like dead ass.
yeah, I mean, you know, if
You
they're
see-
letting you play around
Diddy
like
was
this
for the
this long-
entertainment industry. Epstein
Yeah.
was for the government. You have
It all
unlimited
ties together.
material.
Yeah.
Come
All
on.
ties together.
I've been looking at
we're all smart people here.
how many politicians have APAC money. All of them,
All of them.
except for what one guy or two guys really like. They all have an APAC guy.
Well, because they're our greatest ally. Send me
Mm.
my money.
They will ride. They will ride. They will ride to the very end for us.
Oh yeah, that is it. That is it.
Oh God.
yeah, this is-
okay.
That
I
was
don't
fun.
think- I'm absolutely certain this is not going to be you guys' last time on the show.
Oh, 100%. This is fantastic. Also, we should do check-ins too, just like you said, our journey, fucking doing stock unlock,
Yeah, for sure.
getting the
Yeah.
word out. Yeah, I'm excited. Y'all sign up at stock unlock
Bitcoin
on
was the
everything.
inside job. All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, all right.
And we out,
Next
y'all.
show.
Peace.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
All right, take
Peace.
care. Thank you
Peace
for having
out,
us.
Thanks, brother.
Of course, man. Thank you guys.